Hello and welcome to Biz, your work life sorted. I'm Em Burnham.
And I'm Lisa Lee. I'm a former head of people and culture, an organisational coach, and the founder of Learner.
Today we are talking about the number one skill every manager needs.
Because being a manager isn't just about hitting targets, it's about helping your team grow and getting them ready for what's coming next. And the skill that I've seen make a huge difference when people have it is coaching.
That's so interesting to me. I feel like this is new news for me, but it does make sense because coaching, it's like you're also building trust with your team. You're not just managing them, but you're also setting them up for the next level of their career. So I feel like coaching is one of those skills that's very misunderstood and there's like not that much research out there on there. So we're going to try to sort you out.
100%. People misuse that phrase all the time. So we're going to explain exactly what it is, how to use it to help your team grow, and how to make your job easier as well, because who wouldn't want that?
So true.
Let's get into it.
So my big question is, why is coaching specifically the skill that managers need? Because I feel like we talked about management for a few episodes now, and it feels like there's a massive list of things that managers need, but it seems like coaching's the number one.
I speak to so many managers, right? Especially the ones that have just been promoted, and they're almost tearing their hair out because they're going, everything's coming at me and everyone's coming at me. And what happens, and we've talked about this before, is that often when you're a high-performing team member, you get promoted into a manager role, but then you haven't been taught how to shift from getting this work done to then getting the best from others to get the work done.
Right.
And the reason why I then think it's the number one skill, right, is that that's the unlock. That's what you can do.
Yeah, so it's also about just like helping others, I guess, not just in like managing them and like from a company point of view, but like also developing their career as a whole.
I think a lot of people have seen like this old school way of managing,
Yeah.
where your manager like just like delegates shit to you and they hand out instructions and you just do what they say all the time. But that's not how to get the best out of the team, and also the best way to spend your time too. You've got to be able to help your team actually grow, adapt and problem solve on the fly, not just create this like reliance on you all the time.
Yeah.
Coaching is the thing that will help you do that. So this isn't just my take. I've got a couple of books with you. I know you love when I bring books to you.
I'm such a big reader. The was it the Four Amendments?
The 4 agreements
The
we read
Four
last
Amendments.
time.
I'm like biblical.
These are super practical. Do you know what? I would almost say that if you're a manager or a people leader and you only read one book, even though I've got 2 here, it would be this one. This one's called, you can see it's well read as well. This one's called The Coaching Habit, and it gives you a whole bunch of like questions and things you can just use in the everyday to make work less hard.
Oh my God, I love
The other one that's sitting there by, these are by Michael Bungay-Stanier, by the way, is The Advice Trap. And it kind of builds on that in terms of how we're all addicted to just giving advice all the time. But maybe our advice is not right. And maybe the other person actually has the answer, right? And we can encourage them to build that thinking. So we're not creating this team that just relies on us to do anything.
So what like kind of career phase do you think someone should be in before they start thinking about coaching? Is that something you think about the minute you become a manager? Is it something you think about before, or like when you've been in it for a while?
I would start thinking about it as I become a manager, because as you step into it, right, your style has to change a bit. And so this is just, think of this as almost like a tool you can use. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be like me and do like a full-blown certified coaching situation and training thing. But you can pick up a few interesting questions along the way to start coaching and asking questions, rather than your first response being, let me just give you the answer, Em.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're going to drown when you become a manager. And when I hear the managers that talk to me, they go, oh, I just don't know if I'm cut out to be a manager. Like everyone and everything's coming at me. I'm like, if only you had this skill, we could start to change some things.
That's so true. And I feel like even if you're not a manager, you can still be a good coach to someone. Like you can still help develop their career and still gain these like skill sets, because there will be times in your life where if you're working with someone, even like a peer, and you just want to help them out, help their career, but also develop that own skill set within yourself to know how to coach someone.
Yeah, I use it all the time with peers, or even on myself as well, because at the heart of it, it's actually about pausing, listening and asking good questions. And you know I love a powerful pause.
You do love a powerful pause where I'm like, oh, Am I going to jump in?
Should I fill the silence? What should I do? There is something really magical in that. We'll talk about that coming up around pausing and asking questions and creating space for people to just get it out of their head.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Let's get into it.
So before we get into it, I want one thing to be really clear, right?
Okay.
Coaching doesn't mean you never, ever give direction. Like you don't just become a manager then and just sit there and be like, I'm a coach. I don't know. What do you think the whole time? We don't want you to go from hardcore delegation, micromanaging into a space where you're like, I don't know. What do you think? That's not what we're talking about here. It's about understanding like what the skill is and not using delegation or instructions as your first move, but instead asking a question as your first move and letting some of the magic happen from there.
Earlier on, we soft launched some tips on how to coach, like with the big pause, which makes some people very, very nervous, but it does work. So, Lise, what are some other practical tips you can undertake to start your coaching journey?
I reckon we should talk about what coaching is and what it isn't, because it sounds like this all-encompassing term, like, you know, when someone says to you, be a big picture thinker, you're like, what does that even mean? What does that even look like?
I hate that.
And we said it up front as well. A lot of people misuse the phrase and go, be a coach, and they're just still telling you what to do. Like, that's not what it is. So effectively, all coaching is it's a structured question-based conversation focused on helping someone unlock their potential, and it leads to some kind of action.
That seems doable.
It seems very doable,
Is
right?
it though?
Yeah. I think the myth is that people see, because there are a lot of professional coaches out there, and they go, oh, it's like this 2-hour journey exploration thing that I have to do. I don't have time for that.
Yeah. It seems like you have to be coached in how to be a coach, and then you need like the proper like job description as coach.
Yes. No, you don't have to at all. It can be a 5-minute conversation with 4 questions.
Okay.
That's it. So we can get into what that is. At the heart of it, I mentioned before, coaching is about questions, not answers.
Mm-hmm.
In The Coaching Habit, that book I shared with you, and we'll link to it in the show notes, Michael Bungay-Stanier, it's a real tongue twister, that name, he talks about the power of just like simple, repeatable questions.
Yeah.
So things like, what's on your mind? What's the real challenge for you here? What's one step you could take? It's really about just resisting the urge and the reflex that we all have to go, why don't you just do this, Em?
Yeah. And it also feels like, I feel like when I always thought about coaching, I would kind of put it in the same bucket as mentorship, where it always sounds very long term.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, what do you want to do in the next 5 years? But it feels like the questions you're asking, that you're suggesting that we ask, seems very like short term, quick.
Yeah, the kind of coaching that I would say that most managers need to get into is almost like what they call snap coaching, or coaching in the moment, where you go,
I love that.
Yeah, it's like you come up to me, it always starts this way. So for any manager listening to this, they can go, okay, I'm having problems with Sophie. Again, I'm picking on Sophie.
Poor producer Sophie.
I'm having this problem with Sophie. She just doesn't listen, etc. Instead of me going, well, why is Sophie not listening? I can start to say to you, what's happening right now? Like, kind of what's the situation?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, what do you want instead? What steps can you take in that? And when we get that started, I've just coached you.
Yeah.
And I've not told you what to do. So we've got to break this whole thing of like telling people what to do and start getting to, maybe Em could actually solve this with Sophie instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
I also feel like with certain types of coaching, it evolves the like higher you climb the ladder.
Yeah.
I know when I was briefly a manager, and I obviously still had my own manager, but their role switched to become more of a coach, to like coach me on how to manage.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting, because before they would basically coach me on the actual tasks I was doing. And then you obviously reach a level where you start self-learning and self-developing. So then your manager then takes on another role, which is like tries to elevate you even more. And I feel like it's one of those situations with coaching, is that it'll be something that the higher you go, or even if you move across industries, that coaching will just continuously develop and change depending on what your position is.
Yeah, and it's super situational, right? Like I remember when I first got certified and trained and everything, I thought everything was a coaching moment. It's not, okay? But it is something you can use to kind of break the reliance and read the play and go, instead of telling Em what to do here, could I ask her a question instead first and see how that goes?
Yeah. Okay, I feel like we now need to get into how to actually coach.
Yeah.
So if I am a manager and I'm listening to this episode, firstly, welcome. Check out all our other episodes. They're brilliant. And I want to give coaching a go. What should I actually say in the moment?
So you're not going to learn how to do a full-blown coaching conversation in this, because I think I said to you before this that would take about 2 hours for us to teach you how to do it. But what we can do is teach you how to give like a coaching style question conversation before giving an answer or a direction. So your prompt is like, someone's going to come to you and be like, I have a problem with blah. Your manager reflex and your high-performing I just got promoted reflex will be like, I will tell them the answer.
Yeah, I'll fix this right now.
I'll fix it. And also you get like hero complex a little bit. Like, let's not lie, we all like saving the day for someone. And that's hard to let go of. But seeing someone actually develop and build their career because you've asked them the right questions and they've been able to build their confidence is even better, I promise you, in the long term. So you don't need a script, but it helps to have a few questions. Pick up this book, The Coaching Habit, or hear a couple of my my go-tos that can pull you out of different situations.
Okay. Get out a pen and paper, write these down.
Definitely write these down. Okay, some of my favorites are what's on your mind. So it's really open. So if someone's coming to you and going, I'm having a problem with, sometimes what they're telling you is the surface level problem. They're not actually telling you the real problem. So when you start with what's on your mind, you kind of open it up and go, okay, I'm listening.
You give them permission to go deeper.
Yeah, and I don't have an agenda here. I just want to understand what's actually going on, full picture.
Yeah.
The next one, the follow-up one to that would be, what's the real challenge for you here? Because again, that might be going like, my problem is this. They tell you everything that's going on around it. And then they go, well, actually a challenge is X, Y, Z, which is different to the initial thing they came to you with. So this one really cuts through the noise and will get you to the heart of the problem they're trying to solve. Then we get into what else? The most simple question. 2 words, right?
What else?
What else? It sounds so basic. But if you were like unloading on me, Em, and I just ask you those 2 questions, I'm like, what else?
Yeah.
Like, well, actually it's this, 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 and this. Like, okay. And then I'd probably say to you, which one of those is the biggest challenge for you that you want to solve? You're like, oh, well, not that initial one that I came to you with, the other one.
The what else question is such a good strategy to keep someone talking as well. My grandfather used to say this all the time when he would be like,
really?
How was your week? I'd be like, good. And he'd be like, okay. And then pause. And then he'd be like, what else? And then I'll go and say something else. And he'd be like, what else? And then I'll say something else. And then he's just gotten like 5 paragraphs worth of stories from me.
Yeah, you're so right. Like it opens up like the whole conversation, right? Because everyone's in fast mode. And instead of being in fast mode, be like, what else is going on? They go, oh, okay, well, here's all the things I really wanted to say.
Yeah.
Good for networking and good for those kind of conversations too.
Good for conversations with your grandparents.
Yeah. What else is going on? I think from there, right, we don't want to sit in like exploration mode. That's not going to get anyone anywhere.
And it just becomes a therapy session.
It's like a total vent instead. So where we want to go then is like, what's one step you could take to solve it?
Yeah, an action point.
Yeah. I think I've shared this with you before, my all-time favorite coaching question. When someone comes to me with a problem, I'm like, oh, do you want some advice from me? And they're like, yeah, that's what I came for.
Yeah.
Because like advice junkies. I'm like, okay, what do you think I'd say? And they're like, and they always go, I knew you were going to ask me that. I'm like, that's cool. But like, what do you think I would say? And they're like, oh, well, you'd probably say X, Y, Z. I'm like, is that an option? Okay. The best question ever. And then I always finish
You're like coaching people on how to coach themselves, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. My next one is, how can I support you? Because you are not like, by coaching as a manager, right? You're not sitting there going, okay, my job's done. Ask you a question. You go sort it out, Em.
Yeah.
You're part of it.
Yeah.
But they're getting to take some kind of like ownership and accountability and decide where they need you involved too.
Yeah.
And you're saying, I'm still here to help you.
Yeah, you're showing them support. And then you're also, I guess, like soft launching a check-in down the track.
Yes, that is such a good point, right? Sometimes you can go like, you know, when should we circle back on this? So it's not like, hey, like we just had a lovely chat vent situation.
Yeah.
It's like
I expect you to fix this and then we can circle back.
Yes, and we will take some action, won't we?
Yes.
I think the challenge is like, look, I mean, if you timed that would have taken us about 4 or 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of managers who are in fast mode, it will feel slower at first. And, you know, if you're in hero complex, I must solve this, that's how I prove my worth. Listen to another episode we did because you're going to get out of that first and then you're going to get into coaching. You'll always want to give some advice. and you do have experience to share, just pick the moment when you give that advice and have that discipline of holding back and the pause.
Yeah. Read the room, I would say. Like sometimes you can tell when someone comes to you with a problem, the exact type of advice they need. And sometimes it's not necessarily a coaching moment. Sometimes if it's like a massive problem, you need to fix it.
Yes, you 100% do. So please, managers, don't
It's like good luck.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to solve any problems now. I'm going to ask questions. That's not what we're saying. We're saying read the room and go, I could ask a question here. And you might ask that first question and it goes totally sideways. And you're like, okay, cool, I'll give you some advice.
Yeah.
Or you might just ask a couple more questions and they go, actually, I've got this. Right.
Excellent.
What happens over time then is you've got this team that's more capable, more confident, and they're less reliant on you in a good way. Because they're coming to you with the house is burning down, not like, oh, Soph's annoying me right now.
Sorry,
Soph.
Okay, it's time for our out. Our one
It is time.
useful thing, Lise. What is our out this week?
I think what we've just touched on before is probably the most relevant thing here is like you don't need to overhaul your own whole style or become this like certified coach that you see on LinkedIn. All you can do is like just start small, stay curious and start to build this coaching habit, read the book, ask a couple of questions. So your reminder here is before you respond with an answer or advice, then you're going to go, what's actually happening for you right now? What do you want instead? How can I support you with that? 3 questions.
Easy.
And then away you go. We will link to the books in the show notes. They're some of the easiest books to read and actually enjoyable books to read. And there's also a couple of lessons in Learner that I'll link to as well because they'll take you 6 minutes and you can start going and having a coaching conversation from there too.
Oh, so good. You have all the material you need.
All the things. Just go and have the conversation.
So I feel like a lot of coaching happens when you're already in that manager role or you have experience with being a manager. But I do see a lot of people who just do coaching full time and they're like, that's literally their job title and they're literally just like helping people day to day, coaching them. So I wanted to know, like, is there an actual difference between being a coach in that sense? Is there a difference between being a coach versus being a mentor?
Yes. So a mentor is someone who has experience in the role that you're in or a role you'd like to be in. And they will like directly tell you, hey, if you want to go down this career path, here are some steps you could take. Here's some people I could introduce you to, etc. A coach is more neutral than that. They're about like unlocking your performance where you're at right now.
Right.
For where you want to get to.
So it's like a step down, like a more like short-term step.
Yeah. I mean, it can be long-term too. But the coaching we're telling you to do is probably a bit more short-term.
Yeah.
And so the coach is a bit more neutral in the situation because a mentor you usually go to because you're like, I want that job and I think you can help me and show me how to get there. Whereas a coach will look at any interference, I guess, that's happening with you, like achieving what you want to achieve.
Right.
If you're telling someone, hey, here's what you need to do, that's managing someone. If you're telling someone, here's my experience with that, you're probably mentoring them. And then if you're coaching, you'd be saying, you know, what's the real challenge for you here? Or what's one step you could take?
Right. Okay, so that makes sense.
Those would be the differences in those roles and how you distinguish between those kind of conversations.
Right. And like coaching and mentoring, I feel like are 2 completely different skill sets.
Yeah,
and
they are.
I think they can go hand in hand. And it's probably something like, as you said, like reading the books and stuff that you can help develop both sides so you can be like a different type of person for the person you're either mentoring or coaching.
Yeah, you definitely can. That's right. You just need to work out what kind of conversation it is and what the person needs from you. And if you don't know, ask.
Just ask.
Yeah.